2nd, 2026 City Council meeting to order.
Councilmember Dees?
Here.
Councilmember Howe? Councilmember Hyman?
I am here.
Councilmember Jackson?
Here.
Councilmember Ward?
Here.
Vice Mayor Riffle?
Here.
Mayor Malfajan?
Here.
This evening, we have our prayer and pledge by our Vice Mayor. Or
Councilman Jackson.
Councilmember Jackson.
Dear Heavenly Father, I ask that you come with us this evening as we do the people's business and that we do your business. And Lord, I ask that you help us to be knowledgeable and empathetic in what we do this evening. I pray that you help us to move our city forward and that you will give us peace around the world. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a couple presentations this evening. If Amber Abbott with Hope Inc. and whoever she wanted to bring with her, our Vice Mayor.
To a proclamation. Whereas April marks Sexual Assault Awareness Month, a time to honor 25 years of progress and recommit to create safer communities for all. This year's theme, 25 Years Strong, looking back, moving forward, celebrates the resilience of survivors and communities that have worked for change. Whereas for 25 years, SAM has supported survivors, raised awareness, and inspired action to prevent sexual assault, abuse, and harassment. As we reflect on how far we've come, we also recognize the work that lies ahead. Whereas prevention starts with all of us. It is in how we support one another, practice consent, and create spaces rooted in care and respect. When we act with intention, we move closer to a future free from violence. And whereas we honor the survivors who have shared their stories and the advocates who have led the way, their courage reminds us that prevention is possible and that each of us has a role to play. And whereas, as we look to the next 25 years, we renew our commitment to building a future free from sexual violence. Together, we can continue strengthening prevention, support healing, and create communities where everyone feels safe and valued. And whereas Hope Inc., along with the Task Force on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assaults, volunteers and staff promote sexual prevention by offering educational services in our communities. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Ripple, the Vice Mayor of the City of Clarksburg, do hereby proclaim April 26th as Sexual Assault Awareness.
I guess just real quick, I just wanted to say, if anybody knows anybody who could utilize our services, feel free to let them know that our agency exists. We serve 5 counties, Harrison being one of them. We provide free services to victims of sexual violence, domestic violence, stalking, dating violence, and human trafficking. So April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we just kind of want to do a few things throughout the month to make people aware of our services. I have teal ribbons for you guys. And I think that Tuesday, the 7th, is April's Day of Action, and so they encourage people to wear teal on that Tuesday, just to support the survivors.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's a lot of people get them.
Yeah.
What happens when you sign up for the first meeting?
Thank you so much. Thank you for your work.
Yeah, thank you guys for supporting us.
I'm gonna leave a few, just on the board there for anybody else who may want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We have a second presentation. If individuals from Pierpont Community and Technical College, Lori Barrett.
There you go. A proclamation. Whereas the first year of a child's life or period of the most rapid brain development will lay the foundation for all future learning. And whereas 66% of children in our state all have parents in the workforce. And whereas high-quality early childhood programs provide important benefits to children, families, and our state and national economics. And whereas children's cognitive, physical, social, and emotional, and language and literary developments are built on the foundation of children's positive interaction with adults, peers, and their environments. And whereas high-quality early childhood education depends on well-prepared early childhood educators who ensure that children supported by families have an early experiences they need for a strong foundation. And whereas early childhood educators need professional wages that are with the educational skills and responsibilities they bring to the complex and valuable work that they do. And whereas young children need skilled, educated, caring, and consistent professionals as well as developmentally appropriate and accessible early care and educational settings. And whereas working families need an early childhood education system that allows them to choose quality child care programs that best meet their needs. And whereas 64% of people living in a child care doesn't. Now, whereas I, James L. Malcolm, do hereby proclaim April the 11th through the 17th, 2026 as Week of the Young Child in the city of Clarksburg, and recognize that high-quality early childhood education provided in a mixed delivery system is good public and should be financed as such. Congratulations.
As an early childhood education program coordinator here at Pond, I thank you for seeing the value in what we do within our students who are learning to teach in the community and seeing the value in our families and the children and what we try to do for them. Christy, did you have anything to say?
Only that, so child care advocates and the whole early education community has worked really hard this last legislative session, and we were able to pass landmark legislation for early childhood professionals this year. So it was a huge step. So thank you guys for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a presentation by Susan Riddle with Mountaineer Country CVB, and we would kindly ask you to limit your comments to about 5 minutes.
That's perfect. My presentation is 5 minutes. So thank you for inviting me this evening. I'll go through my brief presentation and then I'll answer any questions that you might have. Tourism in Mountaineer Country is built on intention. It is guided by data, shaped by partnership, and rooted in a deep respect for place and community. Every decision we make is informed by insight, strengthened through collaboration, and grounded in a clear understanding of what makes North Central West Virginia special. As the gateway tourism organization for the region, we welcome thousands of students, families, and event attendees each year in service to West Virginia's land-grant institution, while also attracting visitors from across the country and around the globe. Under the direction of our board of directors, we are proud and unapologetic promoters of Mountaineer Country and the state of West Virginia. We believe every community and partner plays an important role in the story of our state, and we are grateful to represent and promote them all. The impact of tourism across our region is real and measurable, from the local businesses and jobs it supports to the experiences that encourage visitors to stay longer, return often, and invest more deeply in our communities. Our data and partner testimonials consistently show that this work strengthens our partners and contributes positively to West Virginia's tourism economy. Because visitors do not see boundaries, Our work often extends beyond a single destination. Visit Mountaineer Country actively participates in regional and statewide initiatives, including Leave No Trace, Mountaineer Gravel, the Mountaineer Trail Network, Civil War Trails, international visitor initiatives, and much, much more. We take seriously our responsibility to fulfill the role of a Convention and Visitors Bureau, attracting new visitors, spending into our communities, serving as a credible source of information, operating within West Virginia code and industry best practices, and stewarding our resources responsibly under the direction of our board of directors. Every day, our team works to strengthen our destination and leave a lasting impact on the communities that we serve. We measure success not by a single campaign or printed piece, but through long-term trends, industry benchmarks, and the economic results we see in our region's lodging, tax receipts, and visitor spending. As we move into 2026, our focus remains very clear: stewarding tourism in ways that strengthen local economies, enhance quality of place, and deliver lasting value for residents and partners alike. CVBs come in different sizes. One size does not fit all. Visit Mountaineer Country is the gateway destination marketing and management organization with a team of tourism professionals who work to advance West Virginia tourism in North Central West Virginia. Tourism recruitment and development is high-tech, it's expensive, and it's very complicated. I'm not here to take over any organization, so I want to dispel that misunderstanding at all, period. We only go where we are invited. That's all we've ever gone. 35 years ago, Preston County joined our organization. 2019, Taylor County and Grafton invited us and joined our organization. In 2020, we rebranded to Visit Mountaineer Country to better represent our entire service area of not just being one community. And in 2025, Bealington in Barber County invited us and joined our organization. The West Virginia Code, Section 718, is clear about how municipalities are to spend lodging taxes, whether they choose to fund a CVB or handle all lodging tax expenditures themselves is their choice. Some CVBs don't meet the West Virginia Code, and their respected elected officials have the difficult job of determining whether or not to fund their CVB. It is up to the elected officials. I've shared our 2024, which is this one, and our 2025 annual reports to give you a sense of how we consistently deliver results to the areas that we represent. You also have our strategic plan and our 2026 Tourism Summit information being held on Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo is the way I like to refer to it, May 5th. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to attend. We know that our website engages with more than 600,000 users annually, and Clarksburg continues to be one of our top 5 cities that utilize our website, along with Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., and Morgantown. I'd like to close with an example that Chelsea Ruby, our West Virginia Tourism Cabinet Secretary, has shared, if you will all engage me. On the count of 3, I would like everyone to say the name of the street where you live. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, on the count of 3, I'd like everyone to say the name of the state in which you reside. 1, 2, 3.
West Virginia.
Thank you for indulging me. That is an excellent example of how impactful a focused voice can be to gain the attention of the visitors we seek to attract to enjoy the place that we all are blessed to call home. That is the end of my presentation. If anyone has any questions, I'd gladly answer them, and I really thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for coming. How many people are on your team?
I have 7 full-time individuals, and presently we have 4 part-time intern apprentices. So they're actually students. And we actually work with Pierpont College as well. They're going to be at our tourism summit. So we work with more than one educational group to bring in our interns and apprentices.
What has the agreements looked like with Taylor County, the city of Grafton, the city of Bealington when they came? You know, I've heard some concerns about losing what makes us unique, or our local identity. So I'm just kind of curious what that looks like.
So the process that we followed, and it's the same process, we are a relationship business. We are a sales business. We are here to sell the destination. We are only able to do that based on the relationships that we have with all our partners. So that was established 35 years ago when Preston County joined with our organization, and every other area has done the same. What we do is we have expanded our area. Their organization was sunsetted. It could reconstitute itself if it chose to do so, but their individual organization sunsetted. And then what my board of directors has done is we've modified our bylaws each time and have added members to our board to represent all the areas. And our board composition is extremely strategic. We have chambers of commerce representatives, economic development authorities, local hospitality businesses, community at large businesses, and as well as every municipality and county that are part of our board. They designate an individual to be on our board. So we have a very large board, but it is a cross-section of all of the areas that we serve.
As a CVB, how do you define success and success for the individuals you represent?
We are to grow the tourism economy. We are here to build relationships. Our strategy is rising tides raises all ships. We do not build the tourism economy on the backs of any of our tourism partners. We don't. We do giveaways. We don't ask for a bunch of freebie-deebs. We do events. We are always looking for community champions for us to coordinate and support in order for us to collectively build the places that we have to offer and the experiences that people have. We recently did the NCAA women's basketball tournament, first and second rounds, and we do this all the time. We are the number one in those reports. This year, we have some real live data. This is we have a lot of tools, but this year, Mountaineer Country region is ranked number one in West Virginia for overnight stays and day trips based on our Placer AI data. We have more than 4.2 million visitors that come through our area in 2025. So we have a lot of people coming through here, and it's our job to wow our guests. We are only compensated by the lodging taxes that we receive. So even though we drive a lot of additional business, whether it be restaurants, retailers, bars, gas stations, grocery stores, whatever, because when people come to a destination, what do? I can tell you how much I spend, and it's a lot when you're traveling, right? So all of those things, as well as any transportation costs that, people that fly into your destination. I mean, you all have an airport, you've got the bridge, you've got a number of things when I say Harrison County as a whole. Visitors don't see boundaries. So my job and my team's job is to provide whatever users we have and relationships that we have, provide those customers with the resources that they are seeking when they are seeking it. And in turn, we engage with them and we get them, honestly, this is going to sound really awful, I know, so please ignore this, but we're a sales organization. We have leads, we cultivate, we get them into a sales funnel, and we positively engage with people. And honestly, some of our best representatives are all of our local communities. It is not a one size fits all. We are an organization that tries to connect the dots. We're always looking for opportunities where there is something that we have like a shiny object that we can jingle in front of someone, get their attention, see what they're interested in, and go from there. We've got like 76,000 leads in our system now, whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or whether you're a family person or whether you have children. I mean, every audience is different, and we have to be a chameleon to be able to get in front of them what they want, to get their attention, to bring them here and connect them with what we have to offer. So that's a long answer. I apologize.
That's all right. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So speaking of the NCAA tournament, I saw that James Madison stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn.
Mm-hmm.
And so have we had other teams that have been competing in Morgantown? Have they stayed in Clarksburg before?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the way we work.
Yeah.
Customer first. The 79 corridor in West Virginia, we have more traditional lodging businesses, franchise businesses, up and down that corridor than in any other region in the state. And there's 9, okay? So I have a sales director and she has a support person. And between the two of them, we work with groups every day of the week. We put out requests for proposal amongst all of our lodging partners. So if we have a group that's coming to town, I don't care if it is a sporting group, a baby shower, a bar mitzvah, I don't care what it is. If you're bringing group business to our destination, we want to know when you're coming, what do you need, what's important to you, and from there, we send that request out to all of our lodging partners. And what we do is we try and place those groups in our areas that we officially represent first and foremost. But remember, I said, our greatest concern is taking care of the customer. WVU is a big customer, obviously drives a lot of traffic. So when they were having difficulty placing the groups, and Miami of Ohio was in Bridgeport. I mean, we had 2 out of the 4 in Harrison County. And so when we weren't able to provide, they with our assistance, weren't able to provide those groups what met the NCAA requirements, and they are extensive. I mean, extensive. We did site visits, pre and post. I mean, it was a whole bunch, a lot of work. And you got to hurry up and get this all ready.
Yeah.
And then you wait and you hope and pray that you're going to get the bid. And good Lord willing, we did. So when that happened, WVU isn't routinely going to go right outside of Montague County because that's the relationships they have. So we needed meeting rooms. We needed so many singles, so many double. I mean, it's very specific. And we just started trying to figure out where we could place them. We work a lot with Lisa Sutton. Her property is one we can count on to deliver the type of experience that our customers are seeking, and then we don't worry about it. I can't say so much with all of our properties because sometimes, there's a lot of turnover in properties and everybody does things a little bit differently, but that's our job, to help everyone. We're great backup dancers. We are great backup dancers. We make all of our partners look good or look better. And I got a real big thank you basket from WVU after the NCAA tournament, which was a very nice surprise. I mean, we were in the Coliseum. We were in the Coliseum all day, both days, welcoming. I mean, we had social media posts from the coach from Kentucky that said, I don't know where you got them, but I want some West Virginia fans. And that's the secret sauce we have. We have Mountaineer hospitality. Visitors don't see boundaries. And so we have to be able to give our customers, wherever they're coming from, what they're looking for when they need it. So,
I had a question. I understand your customer first, and that's great. If someone wants to partner with you and be part of the Mountaineer CVB, their lodging tax, their hotel motel tax that they contribute to your CVB, would that in turn that sort of investment be returned back to that community?
The way that our structure works is everyone that has become part of our organization comes, all of the lodging tax comes under one umbrella, okay? We already, based on the traffic and the value of being, just the tools that we have between all the dozens, we have more than a dozen social media accounts right now, as well as what we have on our website. We have a landing page for Clarksburg. We have a landing page for numerous smaller communities because that's what our individuals are seeking. So the value, I can tell everyone here that what all of our partners get is exponentially more if I priced it on the open market as far as what it would cost to get the visibility and engagement that you get from being part of everyone, not you, Clarksburg, but everyone gets. I mean, we just did a promotion with the winter train through Beelington. It was one of our most successful promotions that we've had at this time of the year. It was an opportunity that came up, and so yes, the spend, the value that goes back, hands down guaranteed. Not even a question. You get many more dollars.
And I get that. I get it goes in one pot, whatever. I just want to make sure, and I love Preston County, I love Barber County, I love Taylor County, I love all the 55 counties, been to all of them. But the thing is, I just want to make sure, my position up here is to make sure if Clarksburg dollars go into this CVB, that if there's an excursion train going from Belington up the Middle Fork, that there's going to be some, some bodies and beds at the Hilton Garden Inn. I want to make sure that, if we're putting that investment in, and our money in, that we're going to get a return on investment. I get it, we're all one state, we're all one region, and that's good, but I like to see something a little bit more measurable. Like, how does that excursion train in Barber County help Clarksburg if we're helping to fund that too, with a regional CVB?
What that does is it gives us opportunities to generate more and more leads, and we find out what those people are asking for. I would guarantee that based on the business that we've done with Lisa to date, we've already given back to Harrison County
Okay.
More than you all are generating now in lodging tax. I'm confident of that.
Okay.
And it's not to be braggadocious or anything. It's just we are data driven. There's not a decision that we make that is not based on data. And we are pretty nimble. Sometimes we're a bit of a chameleon because, it may look this way this time, and then we got to change the colors because there's more engagement over here. We already have we have a program called Mountaineer Deal Partners. We have partners in Clarksburg specifically that are active with us in our Mountaineer Deal Partner program. We put them in our giveaways. I've sent conference business down here back in 3 or 4 years ago that I tried to place in downtown Clarksburg. Tried really hard. I said, look, I got a hotel here. This group really wants to have this. And it just, we can't there's not one size fits all, and all destinations are different.
And that's good. I'm glad you said you're data driven.
Yeah, very data driven, almost to the point that I've been accused of measuring breaths, steps, and you name it.
You mentioned some other states, and maybe I misunderstood. Is visitmountaineercountry.com, is that part of like a national type of visitors bureau thing, or is it, so your organization only is in West Virginia?
It is only in West Virginia. Yes,
Okay.
We started off, we were, the original name was Greater Morgantown Convention, Greater Morgantown Convention and Visitors Bureau. Then we branded as Tour Morgantown. It's not really popular or a great opening line when you're going into Preston County or someplace else and go, hey, who's here? Oh, Tour Morgantown. Not so good. So when we went through COVID, we rebranded, which organizations in our industry do often, or it's common, not often, but common. And we rebranded to Visit Mountaineer Country because, normally when you're in tourism, the first question people ask you is, what makes your destination different? What drives your major traffic? Well, the volume of what we do, our two largest funding sources are the Montague County Commission and the City of Morgantown, bar none.
And I guess, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I guess the other item that you mentioned is we would have one representative on your board.
What we do is we look to go ahead and in each time that we've brought people on or added a new area, we have, and I'd have to look and see because it's dependent upon the size of the organization or the size of the area at times. So when we brought in Taylor County and Grafton, each of them had their own representative on the board, but then the general membership of our board, which are a core of 16 people, that's outside of just the municipal representatives. Those 16, we try and mix it up amongst and have a representative that, so if we're looking for someone in hospitality industry, Lisa would meet that, or someone in your area could meet that core of 16. And those rotate on and off our board. They have 2 3-year terms that are renewable.
So it's guaranteed that should we sign any agreement or down the road sign an agreement that somebody from our area.
That is what we always have done before. Yes.
And how often does the board meet?
The board meets every other month. The executive committee meets every month. And we do a lot through, we use a lot of tools. We do a lot through a digital platform where we send things out and we have communication and discussions and whatnot. So, that's our rhythm, our cadence.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Any other questions for Ms. Riddle? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session of March 19, 2026.
Madam Clerk, I move we approve the regular session minutes from March 19, 2026, and the special session minutes from March 26, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Petitions, communications, and public hearings. Camden Cullip, 130 West Woodland Avenue, wishes to address council concerning small business grant on behalf of CAPS Consortium.
Good evening. So I'm here tonight speaking on behalf of CAPS Tensorium and, more importantly, the 9 independent barbers and stylists who work inside that place. First, I want to acknowledge that the city did provide a $4,200 grant tied to the road work. That support is meant to help, and the attention is much appreciated. But when construction affects access, parking, and overall visibility, small businesses feel the impact immediately, and in this case, that support didn't reach everyone who needed it. CAPS Tensorium received 1 grant, and the explanation that they were given by the city was that because they operate under 1 fire fee. But the resolution that this council passed, which I have a copy of right here, does not even mention fire fees. Using that as a reason to deny the 9 independent licensed professionals, each of whom pay business taxes to this city, is unfair. Each of them runs their own business, earns their own income, and was directly impacted by the construction. In fact, recently when I was at the shop, I walked in and I said, why is, for once this shop had nobody in it. It was just me. And when I asked around, it was because the construction was planned to completely block access to their business for around a 2-hour window, so they couldn't take appointments during that 2-hour window. So now all of a sudden, this is not a hypothetical. They've lost real income, they've lost clients, and they've lost opportunity. In reality, the 9 small businesses that are sitting in the back there got treated like 1. That is not fair, that is not right, and that is not what this resolution says it was meant to do. The city's own resolution says this grant is for, quote, individually owned, locally operated retail businesses that have valid business licenses and are located in the impacted area. By that definition, each barber and stylist in the shop independently qualifies. They are independently licensed, they operate their own business, they have their own clients, and they've all experienced the same disruption. There's nothing in the resolution that limits this to 1 business per address or ties it to a fire fee. So the question is simple. If 9 people independently meet the criteria, why are they being counted as 1? Why pass a resolution if we're just going to make rules later to deny businesses the relief that they qualify for? Inside CAPS, there are 9 businesses, 9 people working for themselves, building a client base, making a living, and all taking a hit during this construction. Each one of them has lost business, and 1 grant was given, and that's unacceptable. And this is not just any business. These are people who show up for our community time and time again. When my family went through their recent house fire, the people at CAPS stepped in immediately. They raised money, they collected clothes, and they helped us out without posting, without wanting any recognition, just because that's who they are. I believe until today, that was a fact that was not disclosed. They've also given free back-to-school haircuts to kids in the community every year, helping families in a real, tangible way. So this isn't just a business asking for support. This is 9 people who give back to our community, and yet were ignored by that community when it mattered the most. At the end of the day, it comes down to how we're going to define a business. If everything is tied to 1 account, situations like this will keep happening, where multiple independent people are grouped together and left out. And that's not unusual anymore. Many barbershops and salons operate in the same way that CAPS does. This is not a request for special treatment. This is a request for fairness and for the city to follow its own rules that they laid out in their resolution. If the goal is to support businesses impacted by these projects, then it must reach all the people who are actually impacted. And that means that these 9 independent businesses must receive the grant that they qualify for. I'm asking council at this point to review the specific situation immediately, correct this oversight so that the 9 licensed professionals standing behind me are recognized and funded. When we say we support small businesses, we actually need to see all of them, not just count them as 1 and not just use the phrasing to appear on Facebook. CAB's consortium is one location, but it represents 9 livelihoods, 9 families, 9 people, all impacted the same and all deserving our support. Clarksburg's motto is proud past and unlimited future. CAP and the other professionals operating in his business are proud of Clarksburg past, and if you allow them to, they're going to continue to use their amazing business to represent Clarksburg's future. Do what's right, help them help the city, fix it now before we lose more businesses. Thank you.
Richard I. Quina, 139 Vermont Avenue, wishes to address council concerning the 5K race and a request for funding.
Thanks, sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank the city council for allowing me to present this race at the VA park. Also want to really appreciate all the council members being council members, because in this day and age, it's hard to get the youth to look at any elected official. And I really respect what you have done, how you're doing it, and people have no clue what's going on in your particular situation. But I do respect what you've done, and I appreciate what you've done. I'm here to sponsor another race. I did a race last year. It was for the YMCA, and they closed it. And
Gee, Richard.
I felt very good about the families and the kids and everybody that was involved in the YMCA race. I thought that I would do another race for the veterans of foreign wars post 573 in the same venue. It's a beautiful place. It's 2 laps around the VA park, and I'm requesting $750, which will, I hope, carry the race and bring some people into town. First race is kind of tough, and especially with the emergency services, the advertising, the shirts, the drinks, the starters, the race officials, and I would appreciate any help. Doesn't have to be $750 if that's not acceptable. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
I'll race if anybody wants to try to beat me.
Maybe I don't respect you. No, I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
Richard, we'll follow up with you on the next agenda.
Thank you.
It's on this agenda.
Good.
Is that the same one that's already on here? Yeah. Brad Morris, 1020 Oral Lake Road, Bridgeport, wishes to address council concerning the rental house registration.
There's going to be an open
5
period
minutes,
of.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
I'm going to take up both. No, the first thing I want to say is I came in about a month ago and asked for you guys to table it and just have a round table. And the city did that, which I appreciated very much, to like at least voice our opinions. And I know I've talked to a lot of people here, and like
Excuse me 1 second. Richard, you are already on the agenda.
For this
today.
evening.
Well, one of the council members told you to sign up.
To speak.
You want to have a seat, stick around? Unless you have someplace to go. Sorry.
So that's the first thing I want to say is like half the time when you come in here, you just want to feel like you're listened to and that people are taking into account different things. So I really appreciate that. And I feel like from that, there was a lot of good byproduct that made its way into the legislation. So it wasn't just wasted time. And I appreciate the city manager's effort in that and like trying to be more flexible. I know there's a 1 week thing in there and I was real big on that. I wanted it to be a lot longer, but I understand that there's interest in keeping it shorter as well. So I appreciate being heard. The second thing, and this is a little bit more petty, but the way that is worded, and I take offense because I like my profession, is in the ordinance, it almost makes it sound like we're like leeching off of the city, like, hey, these rental people, and I know it's not meant to be that way. We do give back. Like, I feel like we're a very important part of the thread of the city if we're doing our job correctly. I pay B&O taxes. I pay higher fire fees. I pay double the rate on my Harrison County taxes, which do come back to the city. So it's not like I'm just leeching off the system, and like, I just want that to be known. And we're a necessary part of the city, and I hope that that's never forgotten. We need good rentals. That being said, I do agree with the assessment that the city manager has, is that we do have a problem with underperforming, not up to standard landlords. And it really is a blight on all of the landlords because, people, I've heard, I don't want to rent in Clarksburg. And you go, well, there's lots of great areas of Clarksburg. I lived here for a long time. I still like it here, but it'd be nice if we could create a standard that kept everybody up to the same level and hold people accountable. And the only thing I'll say is my fear is what has happened in the past is that what typically happens is you capture the most compliant people, and then you're holding them to a standard, the very people that are likely to want to keep up their properties. My properties would be the same today, regardless of whether the city was involved or not. It hasn't changed the level that I keep them to for my personal stuff. I can't speak to everyone that I manage, but for the properties that I own, because I have a standard that I want to keep them to, and people can call me and they can get a hold of me. Neighbors can call me and say, you need to fix this. I may take longer than they want me to, but I get it done because it's important to me to be a good part of the thread of the city. But that being said, if you guys are going to put this in place, we do need to have a uniform conformity, and it's going to require that the city hold people accountable that are not willing to come to that. And that is going to come with some nasty outcomes where people are getting evicted because they're not in standard living that meets the standard. And that blowback is going to come on you guys. And I just want you to understand it's not going to be my places. But my hope is that you never hear from me again, and that it works well, and that the city manager has asked me to invest trust in the city, that they're going to enforce this in a reasonable way, and with the people that are trying to make good and that are making an attempt to make sure they're sticking with that standard, that we're going to make sure that those people are not punished because other people are not living up to a viable standard and an ethical standard and the city standard. And so that's all I want to say. And if I just hope that I'm never back up here going, why am I getting torched? Because I feel like that's what happened the first time we put this into place, is there's a lot of people that are still not getting their places. And I came and complained about it, and I was on the radar, but I'm the one that's got them every 2 years. Meanwhile, other people save their $500 or $600, and I feel like a sucker for paying it. But that being said, I'm happy to be in compliance. So anyways, I just want to come up here and speak. I don't know if there's any other landlords up here. I'm typically the only one shows, so whatever come their way, I guess they get it. But anyways, I appreciate the city trying to hold up to a standard. And the only thing I'll ask, if you give me 30 seconds, the only thing I'll ask is what I'd really appreciate if the city's going to do this, and I've asked for this for years, if they put a PSA out to everybody that lives here saying, hey, if you're going to rent in the city of Clarksburg, make sure that your landlord has a certificate of occupancy. Make it worth something for me to have that. And I appreciate, I know you've brought that up several times, but that's the main thing. Make that paper mean something. So when people come in my office and they go, hey, I went somewhere else, they didn't have one. Do you have one? I say, yeah, we keep them. Or this property I manage doesn't, but this one does. Okay, I want to rent that one. Because that owner should be rewarded for being in compliance. And I'd appreciate help from the city on that. And that's the only thing I think I've ever asked for from the city. So a PSA. Anyways, thank you all for your time. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Brad.
Lisa Sutton, 606 Emily Drive, wishes to address tourism success and a thank you to the mayor.
Hi, everyone. So I think Susan covered pretty much what the job entails of keeping tourism alive and a viable wonderful industry that we enjoy here in North Central West Virginia. I personally love that Clarksburg has the largest hotel in Harrison County. I kind of dig that. It's Clarksburg. We're supposed to be the best. But I do thank Susan regularly and her staff when I do get leads, because not every hotel is created equally. There are several hotels in Bridgeport. Not every one of those hotels had that ticked all the boxes that the NCAA just had, and this is our most recent success. But I do receive leads from Mountaineer, even though we're not part of them, but we are part of their travel region. And I do, when it looks like it's something that we're going to tick the boxes, and I receive the leads. So when we just hosted the NCAA, it was wonderful. And I usually don't disclose dollars and cents, but numbers don't lie. Before the end of their stay, their total was well over $9,000. They had spent, and I actually asked their leader if she minded sharing. She had asked me for local restaurants. I gave her one list, Emily Drive. What Bridgeport? I mean, I just said, this is what we have right here. It's handy. Hop on the bus, go where you want. They spent, she shared with me, $3,240. So that was good. That was worthwhile. And that was something that she showed me the receipt before she left. I was like, thank you. Didn't expect her to. When we found out that they were coming, I didn't make that a secret at all. And I got a message from the mayor asking, well, what can Clarksburg do to make them feel welcome? I'm like, hey, you know what? They did kind of set up our meeting space as a makeshift locker room. It was actually pretty cool. They had tape drawn on it, looked like half court, on our carpet. I said, maybe they'll have a break and you can like stick your head in, say hello and welcome and all that. Hey, I'm the mayor. He went above and beyond. He said, you know what, Lisa, I got an idea. What if I bring them a key to the city? I'm like, wow, but that's never happened to them before. Little JMU coming over from Virginia. So I went to their leader, who was kind of the gatekeeper to the coach, and coach was like, I got a game to play here. I'm not going to do anything political. But some of the key players were all excited about it. The manager was all excited about it. If you watched the JMU game, it was McDaniel that was their star player, and you should have seen her. She just giggled and loved when the mayor put that key to the city in her hand and told them to relax and have a great time and do their best and all those wonderful things. So they really left Clarksburg feeling cared for, like the star of the show, and they're like, we've never had that kind of reception ever. So I did want to kind of celebrate those successes. And the other thing is, just over the years, I've developed relationships with Susan and her staff. I know that since 23, 24, and 25, we do keep track because her assistant or her salesperson, Tammy, says, okay, Lisa, I sent you this lead. Did it work out? How much did you make? And she keeps track of it too. And I'm sure that goes on to Susan. She's like, hey. So over the years, it has totaled about $17,000. Now, we're not going to get rich on $17,000, but that's not bad from a CVB that we haven't joined forces with. So we are just part of their region. We fit the bill sometimes. And when we do, we maximize it. And I tell you that $12,000 that came sailing into Clarksburg felt pretty good. And I just want to thank the mayor again for making them feel so welcome.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa, I gotta say, that's the first time I was the smallest person in the picture.
Heather Chase, 632 East Pike Street, wishes to address council concerning the resolution about the one-time downtown construction impact business grant.
Bear with me because my printer did not print today, so I'm going to have to read it from my phone. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name's Heather Chase. I have a small business in the city of Clarksburg. It is under my name, Heather Chase. It resides within Eclipse Salon, which is 632 East Pike Street. I've reached out to all of you either by email or phone call or both concerning the one-time downtown construction impact business grant, and I applied for on February 27th or 26th. I was informed through my coworker that my business was not eligible on the 24th. Prior to the last verbal denial, I had been given different reasons to why my business might not be eligible. One, that I don't own a storefront, and two, my business does not pay a fire fee. After obtaining and reviewing a copy of the resolution, there were only 4 requirements for eligibility. One, that I operate within the boundaries of the downtown multi-structure project. 2, be an individually owned, locally operated retail business and not part of a national, regional, or international chain. 3, be an established retail business with a minimum of 90 days operating from March 1st, 25 to December 31st, 25. And 4, hold a current and valid business license with the city of Clarksburg and the state of West Virginia. According to these requirements, my business does qualify for this grant. My business meets the same criteria that all the other businesses met that received this grant, which has me quite confused on exactly why these businesses were selected and how. What makes my business less valuable and my loss less important? Neither reasons given to me of why my business was not eligible are listed as specific criteria for eligibility. We all know this grant was to help relieve the direct impact in construction the construction has had on all local businesses. And while the thought behind it was with good intentions, the actions has been poorly executed. This resolution lacks proper time and preparation to help out all businesses affected and not just the selected few. The application process failed because there was no application process. It was a phone call that I was told to call and apply for, and the response was, as long as your business is in order, we'll cut you a check. My business is no different than any other business that has been selected. I pay the same city and state taxes. I pay B&O taxes to help keep my business running. I pay rent monthly for my station, whether I work or not, which is not different than paying monthly for a building. Eclipse has no ties to my business. I do not get paid personal or sick days. I do not work from home. If I don't work, I don't get paid. I've gotten to work with no water or limited to no parking, which has resulted in canceling my day. To cancel my day is around 7 to 14 phone calls. It could be days, weeks, depending on customers' availability and mine. It could be a $300 to $600 day that could take weeks to make up this. I could go on with situations of added stress, hardships, no water, no parking, driving to locate construction foremen with time frames, helping to direct customers in front of our shop because there was a huge hole so they don't get their car stuck in it. But the truth is, with all this, my business has suffered the same as everybody else's. And I'm just a little confused with everything. I feel small businesses are what runs this community, and I would just like a little bit more consideration, maybe even some answers to why we were denied. Because according to your resolution, the denial should not have happened. So I thank you for your time and have everybody have a blessed evening.
Thank you.
City manager's report.
So, council, I gave out your city manager's report, but what I'm going to read tonight is actually the downtown Clarksburg infrastructure improvement project. We finally have a summary of everything that was replaced, so I just want to run over that quickly with the council. I handed it out to. So the background and historical context, I'm going to read this out. It's going to take me about 5 minutes. Downtown Clarksburg sits atop a century of infrastructure history. When work crews began excavating the streets in spring of 2025, they uncovered more than just aging pipes. They discovered the physical layers of the city's past: original brick streets, bedrock formations, substantial subsurface cavities, stone-laid pipes, and utility lines running beneath the remnants of historic trolley tracks. And these all presented unique challenges that required expert judgment and adaptive problem solving on a daily basis. The water and sewer lines being replaced are over 100 years old, while the gas distribution infrastructure is at least 80 years old. These systems far outlasted their design service lives. Aging infrastructure of this type possess escalating risks, include likelihood of water main breaks and sewer failures, reduced fire suppression capacity, elevated potential for gas leaks, and chronic stormwater flooding during heavy precipitation events. The catalyst for accelerating this work was an alignment of the West Virginia Department of Highways paving contract. City, council, and utility leadership recognized that coordinating all underground improvements ahead of the paving window would significantly reduce the need for future street cuts to replace aging infrastructure. While some work may still be required for emergencies or unforeseen incidents, this proactive approach saves substantial public resources and minimizes long-term disruption to businesses and residents. No single agency could have delivered a project of this scope and complexity alone. The Downtown Clarksburg Infrastructure Improvement Project, at its core, is a story of partnership of local government, utility boards, state agencies, federal regulators, and private contractors working towards a single shared goal. Partners span every level of government and the private sector, each contributing specialized expertise, resources, and jurisdictional authority essential to the project's success. The primary project partners are the Clarksburg Water Board, Thrasher Group, West Virginia Department of Highways, Hope Gas, and the Clarksburg Sanitary Board, along with the city. In addition to our primary partners, an extensive network of supporting contributors ensured the project would move forward safely, efficiently, and in compliance with all applicable regulations. This included the Clarksburg Public Works Department, our police department, our fire department, finance and city hall administration, Clarksburg City Council members, NPL Construction, Bear Contracting, JetJack, independent contractors, state elected officials, federal elected officials, the West Virginia DEP, and the EPA. This project encompassed simultaneously improvements to 4 distinct utility systems across downtown Clarksburg. Each system was managed with independent budgets, timelines, and dedicated project teams, while maintaining tight coordination to ensure alignment and minimize disruption. For our sanitary sewer system, we installed 36 manholes, 6,100 linear feet of sewer pipe was replaced, 50 customer service connections were upgraded, and 1,040 linear feet of lateral service piping was installed. For our storm service, there was 33 manholes, 75 drop inlets, 5,100 linear feet of storm sewer pipe. In our water system, there was 21,000 linear feet of water line installed, 232 new service connections, and 42 fire hydrants. I found it was actually 42, not 41. Hope Gas, they installed 35,000 linear feet of pipe. They did 188 service reties, 63 tie-ins, 1 string bore, and the construction and installation of a new regulator system. The total investment of this downtown project is almost $48 million. This investment is distributed across 5 distinct systems, each managed with dedicated funding streams to ensure accountability and compliance with applicable grant and regulatory requirements. The sanitary system was just over $5.7 million, the storm was $4.52, the water was $10.7 million, Hope Gas was $24.6 million, and the estimated cost for the West Virginia Department of Highways paving contract is $2.4 million. The average timeline for a project of this scale is 4 to 5 years. This project started in our city on March 4th, 2025, and it will be completed by July 28th, 2026. So the actual construction window was 16 months. The typical timeline that what we've saved was 3.5 years. This accelerated timeline was made possible by several factors: strong communication, pre-construction planning, alignment with the West Virginia Department of Highways, experienced contractors, and leadership at the city to make this happen. I have a bunch of other benefits, and this will go up on our website, but what I do want to read is the conclusion. The Downtown Clarksburg Infrastructure Improvement Project is a defining chapter in the city's history. It demonstrates that Clarksburg is committed to its residents, making strategic investments in critical infrastructure, and that has the capacity to coordinate large multi-agency initiatives. This $47.9 million investment in this project is more than a line item in the budget. It is a strategic investment that strengthens the city's infrastructure and supports long-term operational reliability and community growth. Projects of this scale succeed because of the dedicated professionals and public servants who bring expertise, diligence, and judgments to every challenge. On behalf of the City of Clarksburg, sincere appreciation is extended to every partner, contractor, engineer, inspector, utility worker, and public official who contributed to this achievement. Special recognition is owed to the business owners and residents of Clarksburg. Your patience and cooperation during months of construction has made this work possible. You navigated detours, noise, disruption, and now the benefit of infrastructure being built to serve our community efficiently and for decades to come. This project stands as a tangible example of what can be accomplished through planning, coordination, and collaboration across multiple stakeholders. This is a milestone that strengthens Clarksburg's future today and forever. Also wanted to give everybody an update on paving the downtown area. So Chestnut from Pike to Main has been paved. Chestnut from Main to Washington has been paved. 6th Street from Pike to Main has been paved. 2nd from Pike to Main has been paved. Traders Alley from 2nd to 3rd is complete, and Monticello from Pike to Main has been paved. So we will continue to see more construction, but much less large machinery. All that's really left is paving. Even the sewer will be done by next Wednesday downtown. There will be no more cutting into the streets. Northview neighborhood, so North 14th Street from Franklin Avenue to West Virginia Avenue has been paved, and Williams from North 13th to 14th has also been paved. And that concludes my update on the construction, which I know we've all been anxiously waiting for.
Thank you.
Unfinished business. Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, authorizing and regulating cigar lounges, cigar bars, and smoking lounges, providing for HVAC ventilation standards, establishing licensing, permitting, inspection, and enforcement requirements, and related matters. Notices regarding the public hearing appeared in the Express Telegram on March 24 and March 31.
Open the public hearing.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. We will close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, amending Article 1767 Rental Housing Registration Program. Notices appeared as previously stated.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time.
You double down on it.
I'm going to double down. So I spoke. I never run out of words. That's good and bad. But so the first part is I want to say, once again, I just appreciate working with the city. The second part is the execution. And my understanding is that we're going to have code enforcement that are specific to this, because it is like if you imagine the city saying, hey, someone's going to come and inspect your house and look for everything wrong with it and give you what you have to update, you want it to deal with people that actually know the specific ins and outs of housing. And so the plan is, I believe, to hire someone specific in that field, which I back this, because we work with, like right now, you could get any one person, but they all have different things that they're good at. And it's almost impossible for code enforcement to be good at everything and all these different fields. And so I hope that we can get a really competent person that hopefully doesn't treat you like a criminal from the beginning, because I cannot stand that. And that brings robust conversation with people, but that it's just a compliance or being out of compliance, and that it's just straight up, and that's what we're searching for. And so I hope we can get someone that is competent in the field, that listens, and that is willing to exchange, like, hey, this is where the code is, this is that. We've had code enforcement that did that in the past, and now sometimes we don't. But those were the things that I would encourage, and that I'm definitely on board with, is if we can get someone that just knows what they're doing within a specific field, so we're not getting rotated across different code enforcement officers that come and go. So that would be the one thing, is that I just hope that the execution of this is done well. And I'm sure if it's not to my thought of, well, you'll hear back from it. But I believe it will be. And I would like to see the problem fixed, and I'd like to see uniformity with the application of our, I'm running out of words. That's crazy. I guess it's too much time, but we're going to get it done. So anyways, that's all I want to say about that is just the enforcement side. But thank you again.
Thank you. Anyone else? We will now close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Discussion. Just one question. So everything that was, that Councilman Hyman and others made amendments, motion amendments, those are all added from the first reading
Yeah, we
too?
reversed the language. There was a couple other changes that we made.
Okay, good.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Dees?
Yes.
Councilmember Hyman?
No.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Worth?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Riffle?
Yes.
Mayor Matherly?
Yes.
New business, consideration of donation request in the amount of $750 by the VFW for the run and walk event scheduled for May 16th at the Veterans Memorial Park.
Madam Clerk, I move we consider a donation in the amount of $750 by the VFW for the run and walk event scheduled for May 16th at the VA Memorial Park.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration.
Leave now, Coach.
Hey, Richard, you can leave now. You can leave now.
Thanks, Mayor.
You are welcome.
Consideration of request for funding in the amount of $5,000 for the Clarksburg America 250 events, and I think Trevor's going to discuss that with council.
Trevor, if you can read out the overview. Yeah, I think it's important to do that.
Bear with me here, everybody. All of you up here know who I am. For those of you who don't, I'm Trevor Pinkovich. I serve as the city's communications and marketing coordinator. I'm also the city's liaison for our America 250 Planning Committee. As we approach the remarkable milestone of America's 250th anniversary, we are given a rare and meaningful opportunity to reflect not only on our nation's founding ideals, but also the enduring spirit that continues to shape our communities today. Celebrating America 250 is more than a commemoration of history. It is a tribute to the resilience, progress, and shared vision that have carried us forward across generations. Here in the city, these events allow us to honor the rich legacy that has defined our past while proudly showcasing the progress we have made together. This council, especially their efforts in improving infrastructure and making the city a better place to live and something that residents can be proud upon. We feel that this, guided by direction, collaboration, and a commitment to growth, it's part of the broader American story, one of continual improvement, civic pride, and hope for the future. By celebrating our local heritage and our national journey, we strengthen the bonds that connect us to one another, to those who've come before us and to those who follow. These moments of reflection and celebration remind us that history is not something we inherit, but something we actively shape. As we mark this historic occasion, we do so with gratitude for our past and confidence of the promise of what lies ahead. And I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come up here and at least listen to the consideration of the $5,000 request on behalf of me and my committee. The reason I am requesting $5,000 is because after making some phone calls, doing the math, and putting all the numbers together to put on, is it all right if I steal your thunder here and announce this a little bit? So my committee is of 16 different people, all through various organizations, city employees, people from like the PWA, the History Museum, and so forth. We have collaborated to have months worth of activities for people to come and enjoy. And even Councilmember Deans and Vice Mayor Ruffle even sit on that committee, so they are in the know of everything that we have discussed.
I will send that list out to council as well.
Yes, Mrs. Fell has a copy of all of that. The issue is our committee is operating with a budget of zero. Now, we have applied for two $25,000 grants through the CVB, but we have not heard back from those yet. So this $5,000 would just go a long way for helping us kickstart the two city events that we're going to spearhead. One of them is the Red, White, and Brew event. It's going to be a first-time thing. It's going to be a craft beer and wine festival at Jackson Square, Traders Alley, and it's going to be headlined by American Idol singer Olivia Spino, a local girl from Shinson. So we're really excited about that. The thing is, when you're working with a budget of zero, it makes it hard to kickstart the process. So, that's why I'm here tonight speaking. And, even if you can't honor the $5,000, any money that might be able to get put towards this effort would really go a long way in helping us put this on. And, not just this, but we're also doing a day of play on July 5th as well. That will be free for the public. The Red, White, and Brew will obviously be a ticketed event due to the fact that it's going to have to be 21 and up. But I think Councilmember Worth brought it up earlier in the meeting, driving people to Clarksburg. And we think that these events will be able to do that. And I really look forward to it. And I know my committee has put in a lot of work behind the scenes as well. And we're really excited to see the final product of this. So thank you for letting me come up here. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks, Trevor.
Someone like to make a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion. I guess maybe I missed it. Is that the committee that council formed, or no?
It was a committee, just when we were talking about 250, we put it as an ad hoc committee.
Okay.
Together.
I was just curious. I must have missed it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Parking Authority, and that is Michael Mons.
Oh, I can read them off if you like.
Okay,
I got them here.
thank you.
Okay. Madam Clerk, I move we nominate a Mr. Michael F. Mons to the Parking Authority.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Urban Renewal Authority.
Madam Clerk, I move we appoint a Mr. Johnny Joe Medea to the, is it the URA? I'm sorry.
Yes.
The URA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
And last but not least, I move we nominate a Mr. Joseph Rock Romano II to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
You want to deviate to council comments?
Sure. Mr. Deans?
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. I'd just like to thank everyone that came out tonight. I think we heard a really good presentation from Susan and the Mountaineer CBB that is going to bring up, be a good basis for the start of our conversation about our CBB. The business grant program, I think we all know the quote, the road to a certain place is paved with good intentions. And, we really tried, and this was something I supported that I thought was a good idea. As I told Heather when I talked to you, I was not aware of how, places like the salon you work at and CAPS, how they work, having different, that you had to have, your own business license and you paid B&O. And so I'm just really frustrated. The intention of the program was to get money into the hands of businesses, and we've met that goal somewhat, but not well enough. And so it's something that council's going to have to come back and discuss, because I do think that people, we have to realize that the scope of this project was massive, and the fact that it is wrapping up and we're going to have new infrastructure is great. That doesn't mean that that we can ignore all all of the grief and the struggles that this has caused in our city. And so we have to recognize both of those things and help where we can. If you're celebrating Easter this weekend, happy Easter. If not, have a great weekend.
Mr. Jackson? Thank you, Mr. Deans.
Yep. I would like to say thank you to everyone for coming out to the meeting this evening. You know, the grant program has really caused a lot of controversy. And, you know, in hindsight, you know, if I could right now, I'd roll that thing back and just not do it, honestly. You know, this was meant to help people. It's not like there's going to be a road use tax for the better roads that we have out there now, basically, but everybody's going to get to use those new roads that we're going to have out there. You know, this was just a means to some kind of relief. And there was a rush and a push put on this thing to try to help to alleviate, you know, some of the problem. You know, when 79 is shut down, we don't expect the state road to give us any money. When 50 is shut down, we don't expect the state to come and give us money. So, you know, I understand the frustration that you all are dealing with, but at the same time, it's just like, at what point do we draw the line? You know, there just has to be a cutoff at some point. So, I mean, I'm willing to work with the rest of council, you know, to do what we can, but, you know, there has to be a point where we say no, the end, all we can do. I mean, we're trying to make our city better. And, you know, this spot is not by far going to be the last construction that is going to disrupt our city. I mean, when the state came in on my first term, they told us they're going to replace 8 bridges in our city. And so far, I think we are at, what, 3? We're at 3. And so there's other major work to go on. And, you know, the businesses can't expect that, you know, every time that there's construction going on, there's going to be money delved out. You know, I mean, like Ryan said, you know, the road is bad intent. You know, we tried. We tried. Please understand that. You know, we tried to help, you know, where we could. So, you know, but I would just like to say, you know, thank you to everyone for coming out. Everyone, you know, please have a safe and happy Easter.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Riffle?
I want to thank everybody for coming out. Kind of what something was already been said, but when we first rolled this out, this wasn't something that was done anywhere else in the state. Because one of the things that I always think of when I first think of an idea or something, I always like, okay, who else has already done it? What other cities already went through this? Where can we find a model of an example of what we can do here? I looked at Wheeling. Wheeling, they've had their downtown tore up for, I feel like my lifetime. So I reached out to the council members in Wheeling. I've talked to people down there. They did nothing like this for the public. Now Wheeling is doing better economic development than we are, so we're not the same as them. And without our small businesses, we won't be anything left. Even though I know Emily Drive, you know, brings in a lot of money, our small businesses are still important to our community. And so, you know, we had to do something. And even I even get my hair cut by a woman that is in the same shoes as everybody here. And I didn't even think about that person. And I sit in her chair like every 3 weeks. And I still didn't think about it. So we had good intentions, but this is how it's supposed to work. When things don't work out, you guys come to us, reach out to us, call us. Our phone numbers, and everybody's running for council, your numbers are public. This is the community's a chance to call, reach out to us, and we get it right. And you know, expect like CAPS, like the school cuttings for the kids that like you guys do an amazing job with the community. You put so much money into that building; it looks amazing down there. And you put money into an area that most people at that time weren't putting money into. And it's what it takes. It takes, you know, that type of risk to put out there. And so, sorry that we didn't get that right. I think we will figure this out. I think we've been talking about it. I think council will get on board with it, and we will make this right. So we appreciate everybody for coming out and voice your concerns. And If you have issues, call us. We are trying to do the right thing. We will get it right. It's also council's job to filter things through, and not every request is going to be kind of like Councilman Jackson was saying. Not every request should be filled, but I believe in this situation, I think it should be. And so, because I want to come out of this construction with our businesses happy and thriving and get to, the better tomorrow. So that's the goal. So thank you. First Fridays is tomorrow.
No, it's not.
It's not tomorrow?
No, they're skipping because it's Good Friday. It's the 10th.
I am the worst co-chair ever in the history of First Friday. They did not tell me that. I missed that meeting.
I saw it on Facebook.
Well, that doesn't look good. So I guess I will resign as being co-chair First Fridays, or I'll be kicked off.
I'll take your chair.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say now.
Thank
so,
you, Mr.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Ripple, Mr. Hyman.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming out, Brad and others who spoke about the grant program. I don't want to dogpile on council because they make a lot of bad decisions. And, I voted no originally against the grant. And I voted no for several different reasons. One is we've been down this road before. We tried it. We did it with the ARPA money, with even more money. I think I told Heather, I believe, the other day when she reached out to me. I believe it was with good intentions, as Mr. Deems mentioned. But that program had some issues. There were some questionable things that happened during it. And when this one came back around, I was no from the start. And, I look at it from a principled type of view as well. It's, this was the last of our ARPA money, the American Rescue Plan money. And, I felt like there were some requests that we had that meeting that it could have went to that we probably could have put into our own infrastructure to, even though, if I remember correctly, it wasn't a lot of money. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a lot of money for people. Even the $4,200, I understand. I can completely understand being disappointed about it. And I'm sorry. But again, I don't want to make matters worse for my compadres here. But, one of my favorite congressmen, Dr. Ron Paul, the good Dr. Ron Paul, he said, well, why do you vote no on all these things? Because I read them. And I look at them and I say, no, it's a bad idea. I look at it from a principle type of view where, this money shouldn't have been spent like that. So unfortunately, I can't help there, but, maybe they can, the rest of the council can fix it. And, maybe we can revisit it for the people who desperately need it. Other than that, pray for peace. Some crazy stuff going on right now. We just need to pray for it and have a happy Easter. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Worth?
Yes, I just want to thank everyone for their enthusiasm. I don't think I've ever seen in the 4.5 years I've been up here after everyone has, during petitions, clapped. And I think that's really good. It shows that, because it's pretty scary to get up there for some folks and talk and to have the support, behind you when you get up there and you speak to this body. I think, really speaks volumes. And I think it also encourages folks to, want to come to city council meetings and speak more. Also wanted to thank the mayor too for giving the key to the city to the JMU girls basketball team. And that's very important because, us West Virginians, we're the type of folks that you're got a flat tire on the side of the road, we'll pull over and, help you change your tire. I know when I go fishing a lot in the mountains and I have to compete with folks from Virginia and Maryland on the stream, which frustrates me a lot. There's always a silver lining when you run into somebody and they say, hey, this place is beautiful, and where's the nearest place that I could stay? That way I could spend another week up here. And it makes you really feel good when you direct people, whether it's Clarksburg or, Petersburg or wherever, to say, this is what we have to offer, and we're proud of it. And so I really commend, the mayor for doing that, because I think people always remember that. about West Virginia. They always remember, the hospitality and how much we take a lot of pride in our state and how much we like to share that. So thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Now on to a little more discouraging news. The small business grants. I remember when we rolled that out, I was really concerned about it. I felt like that we needed a work session on that. That way we could discuss it more, strengthen that resolution, ask questions that that are being brought up now, and that didn't happen. I felt like that we just had 20 minutes to argue about it and go back and forth, and then we were put in a position to where, okay, if we don't vote for this, then no one gets it. And if we do vote for it, 35 people get it, or 35 businesses at the time. But I expected, because I voted for it, and now I'm looking back on it, and I admit I kind of regret it in a way. Because just like I expressed my concerns then, I just felt like that people were going to get left out that were affected. And that's what happened. And the only thing I ask is that, and it's the same thing that, Heather's asked, same thing that you guys have asked. It's just to follow the resolution. That's it. And I just feel like that the resolution has not been followed. I feel like that the goalpost has kind of moved a little bit, in the process of applying, if there is even an application process. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that, and, I hope that could be rectified if it could. And I think going forward, when something like this comes up, we probably need to have a conference work session where council, staff, because I'm sure there's, like Councilmember Dean said, I think there's a lot of good intentions with this, and there was. I think people truly cared. I think staff that helped develop this, I think truly cared. But something this big, you need to bring up in a work session. So that way we could, nothing's going to be perfect. We're not going to have a perfect resolution, but at least, you could tighten it up a little bit and you could make it better. And so from now on, I hope with something this big that we could at least just wait a couple of weeks, have a work session where all council members have a stake in it and the public could come out. And we talk about these resolutions, we strengthen them, and then we come up with something better that everybody feels good about, instead of just having to, make a decision over something in 15 to 20 minutes. That's all I got to say. Like I said, appreciate your guys' enthusiasm again. I appreciate the folks who are out here running for office. Rocky Romano Jr., Andrew Banco, Tamara, Tuna. This is,
Don't forget Bill.
Oh, I didn't see you, Bill. So, yeah.
And Hattie was
And
here.
Hattie's.
And Hattie was here too.
I'm here.
Well, you're already up here.
Are you?
It takes a lot of courage to put your name on the ballot and to run and to have to answer, questions on the fly. And I think, if you guys have the opportunity to get elected, it takes more courage to govern. And so I thank you guys, for your participation today. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Work. I concur with everything that was said up here by my fellow council members. Spring cleanup. It's a total of 3 weeks. We had 138 loads, which came out to 152.15 tons, and it cost us $5,564.40. So I hope everybody got their trash and stuff out there. Folks, if you see something, say something. Pick up the phone and dial 911. And have a blessed Easter, everyone.
Consideration of the extension of the city manager's contract.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we table this until we have all 7 council members here, at least until the next meeting.
Looks like it's down on the floor.
That's fine.
Pursuant to Chapter 6, Article 9A, Section 4 of the West Virginia Code, I move the council adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel matters with the following persons be present: Mayor, members of Clarksburg City Council, and reserving the right to call others as needed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We back in?
Yeah.
I make a motion, we extend the city manager's contract by 1 year.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Dean?
No.
Councilmember Hyman?
Aye.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Worth?
No.
Vice Mayor Riffle?
Yes.
And Mayor Knopfler?
Yes. Move to adjourn.
Second.